Hey everybody, nice, lots of good news for today. Anyway, the last week's been quite hectic, up and down, waiting for the results, to do the CT scan and the MRI and get ready, and not knowing if it was all a go ahead or if it wasn't, I'd have to do more chemo and so on. So anyway, last week running up to our appointment, which we thought was on Tuesday, but was actually Wednesday. I'll get to that in a moment. I had to go on a course of antibiotics just to make sure I didn't have any infections in case I had to do chemo. And then I also had to do 3 days of those horrible bone marrow boosting injections, just in case I had to do chemo if the results weren't good on the MRI and CT. So it was a bit of a tense time, not knowing if, hoping in the deepest of my heart I didn't have to do chemo, and then also not knowing if the chemo had worked, because my type of cancer, they don't have like blood markers like other people have. So some people can see week by week if their chemo is working and they're getting less cancer cells, but my type, they couldn't do that. Anyway, so on Monday we set off for Pretoria, where I do my treatments, thinking that the scans were going to be on Tuesday. But of course, we got to the doctor early Tuesday, started filling in the forms, and then realized we were a day early. So the waiting had to be delayed for another day, but I got the chance to see my mum in Joburg, which was really nice. Okay, so Wednesday morning it started off at 8 o'clock. Well, I was there at 8 for the appointment, but then for an hour you have to drink this iodine liquid, which is, they asked if I wanted Oros, and of course I do. So for the South Africans, that brought back such childhood memories, drinking this Oros. I had to have a glass every 15 minutes for an hour or so, but it was quite nice. And then you go into the CT, and the CT is not so bad because you're not like as claustrophobic. There's like almost like a halo machine and you lie on a bed, and then your bed moves in and out, and I don't know how it's different to an MRI, but it's a lot less invasive and scary. And then an hour and a half later I went in for the MRI, which is a lot more, it's like you're lying inside a tube. So it's very, very restrictive movement-wise. I mean, I had an itchy nose and I couldn't even get my hand to scratch my nose. So MRI is like quite hectic, and the machine moves and makes these weird noises. And I mean, the one even sounded like a wooden pole getting beaten on a metal drum. So I don't know where they get the sounds from, but it's quite bizarre. And there's a voice telling you to breathe in, hold your breath, breathe out. And then the bed moves and it goes beep, 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 beep. And it's a bit crazy. And every now and then you get a voice that says, "Ma'am, are you okay?" And then I say, "Yeah." Anyway, so about 2 hours after that, I went to go see the surgeon. Now, he had only just got the MRI and CT, so he hadn't looked at my previous ones from March, so he couldn't tell really whether things had got better or reduced or whatever. But he did say that he can absolutely operate, and a surgeon friend of his will do the colon, and this guy will do the liver. And he says he's probably going to be able to do a keyhole surgery, except the one little liver lesion sort of at the top and a bit behind. So he said he'll have to wait till he goes in to see if that'll be suitable. And then he also said while he's in, he's just going to take the gallbladder out as well, because apparently it's lying right next to one of the lesions, so they don't want to risk anything jumping over to the gallbladder. I don't know if those are the right medical terms, but that's sort of how I understand it. So that was all like really good news and stuff, but I couldn't actually believe or know truly that things were getting better. We had appointment with the oncologist the following day, and I knew after I'd spoken to her, because she'd obviously been following the whole history from the very initial scans to up until Wednesday. So we saw her on Thursday late morning, and it was so amazing. She said all 3 lesions on the liver have reduced in size, which is just fantastic news. And there was no cancer in any of the other organs, because the next problem would be the lungs, but nothing in there, nothing in my lymph nodes, nothing in the whole lymphatic system. So for the first time, I actually believed, okay, I'm getting better, and knowing I didn't have to do chemo. So that's amazing. I mean, it took me like about half an hour to realize, okay, it's proper good news. And then I just started crying, and I think I cried for about an hour because I couldn't believe what was happening. So I kept thinking, okay, I must phone my mom. And then I thought, no, I can't phone her and cry. So then I'd try to calm down. And then another friend phoned, and then I'd cry with her. And then, anyway, so that went on for a while until I actually properly believed I am actually getting better. Okay, steps from now. In 4 weeks' time, I will have a operation in Pretoria. I'll probably be in hospital about a week, 2 days intensive care, the rest of the time just recovering in the hospital. And before that, I must, probably about a week before, go in for another colonoscopy, because I want to see exactly how that tumor is, and they want to go further past it just to make sure there aren't any others. Not that they found any on the CT or MRI, but they say the best way to actually check out the colon is actually colonoscopy. So anyway, no problem, I'll do that. And then I must do another full physical with a physician in Pretoria that works with the whole team of doctors. Also, I had a little bit of a my heart was beating irregularly, so I did a 24-hour session with a little heart monitor via a cardiologist here in town, which was amazing. And yeah, nothing too serious. I'm on a pill for that, and so that shouldn't cause any problems with the surgery. And then after the operation, I've got 6 weeks recovery, which will be no chemo either. So I'm basically going to have 10 weeks without chemo, which I'll do 100 operations not to have chemo. So that's fine. But after the 10 weeks, I will have to do chemo again for 6 sessions, just to make sure there's no cancer floating around and that it's properly done and signed, sealed, delivered. So yeah, really good news. I think in the meantime, because each day I'm feeling stronger and stronger, so I had a little ride on my horse this morning. We're probably gonna go down to the Cape with the dogs for 10 days or so we can see Rebecca, my baby. Yeah, so things are all looking really good and positive and very exciting. So I don't know how many installments there'll be until surgery day, but I'm just feeling really good at the moment, and yeah, really good. So thanks for coming back. Bye.